Okay, so we are entering the Giant Sequoia National Monument. And the Giant Sequoia National Monument was a presidential proclamation signed by Bill Clinton in 2000. And basically it was designed to preserve sequoia trees. And so I hope you enjoy. So as you can see, there's a river at the bottom here. And then we're gonna go up these rocks again. And me and Tammy are debating on whether or not this is a waterfall, if I can find it. There's a shiny area that's up there. And we're trying to figure out if it might be a waterfall or not. And so here's some more awesome views. This is a Sequoia National Monument. Let's zoom in on this here. It's a nice big cliff right there. You can zoom in and boom. It's pretty awesome. And this is just spectacular. This view, you're looking right down the same gully. Just some more of the views, and we think this is part of that walking trail again. If it is a walking trail, that's what we deduced that it was, but we could be totally wrong. So we're gonna go down by the river, and we're on this long stairway, or I should say trail. And you can see we're gonna go across this bridge that's down here. If we go to my right, you can see there's the river that's over there. Okay, this is a little bit further up the river here. And as you can see, the water's coming down pretty fast. That goes down to here. Nice little beach area over here if you wanted to go to the beach for the day, I guess. And then come back over here. You can see the water still stays rough. You can hear it's pretty loud. And then we follow it down, calms down for a little bit. And then if you look right about where these rocks are right here, like I said before, you can see just past it, the water gets a little bit rough again, and then it just gets calm again. I thought this was kind of cool also. This little hole right here. Obviously filled up with water. There's not water coming from below, it's water that's coming from above, but it just hasn't evaporated yet. So, like they always say, never drink still water. If I zoom in, you might even be able to see there's like that micro, this little, what do you know what they are? But there's little like fish or something you don't want to have in your body. To give you an idea where this is at, I'm right here, and there's the river again right there. Okay, so we solved the mystery. So what this is it is a walkway, and this thing goes for miles. This went up to Mineral King Road, which I did a video on yesterday. But if you also notice inside of it, you can put water, or there's water inside of it. The sign right here says it is a walkway, but it's for employees only. So there it is. So it is a walkway for employees, and it is also a water conduit. And this thing goes for miles. Just some more beautiful views that we've seen while driving. Little waterfall. There's some bigger ones that are down the road a little bit, but unfortunately there's no place to stop and actually get a picture of them. So hopefully we'll see some more. So we just stayed here at the Pier general store, and they have a restaurant. We just had the tri-tip steak, and it's actually pretty good. And unfortunately we couldn't eat inside, so they have some benches outside where you can eat. They also have internet if you ever come up this way. Okay, and this is Koi Flat, which you can see there's a lot of trees along here. Beautiful ride. Nice little stream. And now we're on Redwood Drive, and we're traveling to see Stagg Tree. Stagg Tree is the 5th largest tree in the world, and it's about 7.5 miles off of Highway 190. And then when you get close to Stagg Tree, you have to park your car and walk. Then you come across this little camping area
right here.
And then you'll see this cabin here. And if you notice, it'll say Stagg Tree. So then you head right up this trail. And then as you're walking, you'll see a little sign that says Stagg Tree. And you go down to the trail to the left.
Go to the left of this sign.
So you're going to continue walking. You got to walk down this trail in the middle of the woods before you get to Stagg Tree. And then there it is right there. 5th largest tree in the world. So on the way to Stagg Tree, you actually pass this tree here, which must have been a giant sequoia at one time, because it ends right there. It's about maybe 15 feet high, but the whole inside must have caught on fire and burned. So we finally made it to Stagg Tree, and as you can see, it's named after Amos Alonzo Stagg, and this is the tree. And you can actually walk right through this tree, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Walk right through the tree. And then there's another opening on the side of the tree. And this is looking like coming from the other side. Okay, so the next thing is Dome Rock. Dome Rock's elevation is 6,873 feet. And you can actually climb to the top of Dome Rock. So that's what we're going to do next. So that's Dome Rock. Although we can't find the road to Dome Rock, we did find a tree to drive under. And we finally found the road to Dome Rock, which was kind of confusing on finding it. But this is it right behind us. And we are going to climb to the top. Okay, this is the top of Dome Rock. And I think you can go right to the edge of this. This is going to be scary. It's not that far of a walk up here. Pretty easy trail. I'm getting a little scared. You can already see the view from up here. Maybe I'll take a panoramic view. But you can see we're going right to the edge. As soon as you think you're at the edge, you find out there's even more edge before the edge. But I am not going to go down that far. And there's the view. This is the top of Dome Rock. Okay, so we're at the trailhead of the Trail of 100 Giants. It's the giant sequoia trees in here. It's an easy 1.3 mile walk, and let's get started.
And the first tree that we saw on the trail was another tree that we could actually walk through again.
Straight up. And then we can walk right out the other side. This tree is pretty cool because these are woodpecker holes that you can see here. This is kind of cool. We got two trees basically growing within each other. You can see one's coming up, wraps around the other, and goes up, makes a left-hand turn, and continues to grow up. This tree looks like two trees as you go up. But then, if you look inside, it looks like there's a tree. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch it. It looks like there's actually a tree growing inside the other trees. And then if we go around to the back and look, it actually looks like there's 3 trees. You can see how it looks like there's one like right in the middle here. And if you look at this tree here, you can see the bottom of it has actually been burned by fire. And then if we go up, It was actually struck by lightning, and it's missing the top. Every tree here is more amazing than the next. The base of this tree is probably about 20 feet wide. And then if you look, it's extremely tall. I'm gonna do a further away shot when I get. This is that same tree, and you can see how high it actually goes. This thing's humongous. Here's another unusual arrangement. On the left-hand side, we have a cedar tree, and on the right-hand side, we have a sequoia. And basically they're two separate trees. They have two nutrient systems, but if you look down here, it looks like they're together. So the question is the cedar tree trying to run away from the sequoia, or is the sequoia tree holding on, trying to keep the cedar from falling? If we look right here behind me, what you'll see, it looks like a giant wall. But what this is actually a tree that fell. And what you're looking at is, this is the roots right here, the base that was in the ground. It's probably about 15 feet tall, about twice as tall, or well, about 12 to 15 feet tall, twice my size. And if you look here, you can see where the actual tree was. That's the rest of the tree right there. And you'll see there's a little kid that's running on it, to give you an idea of how big this is. This thing is huge. And here's another example of how big this is. This is the root here. And as you can see, there's actually some people standing on the tree. But that's just the roots right there after it fell.
To give you an idea of how big these roots are, I'm 6 feet tall.
Here we have another tree that's fallen, and you're looking at the roots. And then as you can see, we've had another tree that actually has grown from those roots. And you can see this one's pretty tall also. And some people say it looks like a peacock. So this tree here fell during a heavy rainstorm in the 1800s. And it fell because the streams alongside it had eroded, and the soil surrounding the roots had basically eroded. And so with nothing to hold it in place, it fell. It's been dead for over 200 years. And you may be wondering why it hasn't eroded. And that's because trees, sequoia trees, contain something called tannin. And that basically slows down the decomposition process. And in fact, scientists have found giant sequoias that have been buried in the earth for over 10,000 years and haven't decayed because of tannin. So on this tree here, if you look on the inside, you can see how it's black. And what that actually is, that's the tannin that helps preserve the tree. And if you look over here on the side, it looks like there's almost a bench. So what happened was a branch fell off, and this is basically, it damaged the tree. As the branch fell off, it hit the tree and damaged it. And this is the tree's way of basically healing itself. Just like we form scar tissue or a scab, this is the tree's way of healing itself. And these take over 100 years to form. And that's it for the Trail of 100 Giants. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you ever get a chance, you got to come by and see this place. It is spectacular.
And so that's it for Giant Sequoia National Monument. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And this is a pretty neat place to come to, although most people overlook it because they go to Sequoia National Park.